So this is a new video. This marker sucks. So I'll try to challenge myself to do a grayscale piece, and this is what I came up with. This was so freaking hard. Like, it made no sense why it was so hard. Because the only markers I had that were really usable were a 50 and 80% marker, Prism markers. And if you don't know anything about Prism markers, well, I use this black too, so technically I use like 3, including the pens and whatnot. But the 50% and the 80%, there's some difference with it, but I rely a lot on the 20% to get those transitions and stuff that I want. And the fact that it just happened to die while I was doing this piece just really sucked. Like, I was really aggravated because I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do. So I figured out the bigger part of the pen, well, marker worked. So I tried to use that to do like some like rough sketchings, like some roughness, like some rough grayscale. So anything wasn't just white or just blank or empty and stuff. So that's what I try to. The whole time I was really fighting to try to get this to work, and I had to go back and like resketch it to incorporate some new stuff because the overall composition wasn't working for me. So I had to go back and change some stuff and redraw it because some of the areas just seemed like they were lacking. So I had to go back in, but it's starting to come together a little bit. But that 20% will make the difference for me having only really 2 markers to work with. And so I will probably possibly go back and do this piece over again now that I know what I want to do with the piece. Like, if you want to try a challenge, this should be called a challenge. The 3 marker grayscale, because that's all I currently have right now are just grayscale markers. Because this, in regards to this kind of piece, like, it was just hard. Can you imagine like trying to do all of this with really 2 and 1/60th of a marker? Because it was pretty much dry. I could only get out some textures with it mostly. So this was just mostly done with a 50 and a 80% marker. But after all is said and done, it came out really well. Like, I really liked it. There were some really strong areas and some areas that probably need some more work. And if I had another marker, it would probably make the difference. I thought about using pencil, but I questioned it doing it afterwards because it could have added something, but I didn't want to use that only because pencils have a tendency to rub and stuff, and it will take away from like the values I happen to get while doing the piece. So I just try to use these alcohol-based markers for majority of the piece, and I use I use a pencil in some areas just to make sure to sketch it before I just inked it and stuff. I want to make sure the composition still looked well, still looked good before I start adding more stuff and whatnot. So I think that circle alone really just made it because it seemed like it had a nice little flow to it, and that's what I was trying to go for. And I'm really just, at this point, I got comfortable enough to start adding more stuff to it. So that's why I'm having like a little circle with like his fingers going into it and whatnot. I took away from some stuff too, and now we're getting near the end of the video. I hope you like the video. If you like it, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. In uniform manner, and then I'm just like making them dark and stuff.